Rinsi Anslam, the CEO and MD of Bourse Africa, Mauritius's first multi-class asset exchange, spoke to Africa Money on how the island can become a catalyst for boosting investments into Africa.
Yeah, if you look at the FSE statistics, what they have published, I think that figure has gone up dramatically in terms of the companies which are incorporated in Mauritius, focused on Africa. So it may not be the reason why, because the India flow has reduced, the Africa has increased. I think that Africa growth has already happened, or it's already happening for some time. So that figures are started showing up right now. So people have started talking about Africa in a much stronger way in the last maybe 10 months or 12 months than which was before. If you look at even the banking sector, it has one of the toughest KYC norms to be fulfilled. If you speak to any of the bankers, the amount of time they might be spending on KYC is fairly high. So now what are we talking about? There is the institutions which are in place, which are very well resourced. The resource capability is also high. If you look at whether it is FSC or Bank of Mauritius, it's already in place. Look at, they're also getting more proactive. That effectively shows the strength of the economy. It's not just an offshore financial center. It has the real world class structure in place, which it's important in terms of, let's say, to act as the international financial center. I think that perception again has to be worked on. I think that there will be a phase of consolidation, as a financial center. So that's where the regulators become more cautious, and they also have to be very clear in terms of objectives. I think FSC is also aware of it, BOM is also aware of it. So if you really look at the licensing procedures or tightening the norms, I think that's on the rise. Investing into Mauritius, if you are counting the FDIs or FII, the investments which are targeted to other countries, that budget may not have anything really to contribute on that aspect. Okay, but still it has already done in terms of, if we really look at certain targets like the increase from 4,000 to 5,000 occupational permit and then to the 10,000 as a target. That itself is highlighting the fact that we need, or acknowledging the fact that Mauritius needs the skilled manpower, which may be expatriates, have their base out of Mauritius. So from that perspective, just look at, it will have a different economic positive impact also, because any increase in population, it's going to have an impact on the retail consumption. Also on the real estate sector, because if you have another 1,000 people coming in, they need the housing for 1,000 people. If they are coming with the family, you need to have the schools or if you feel that there are unfilled seats in the schools out here, it's going to get filled. So there is a retail consumption impact also that will be made. So obviously, that itself is a trigger for growth, because as you have even if it is a consumption oriented part, the boost, because that can happen just with the retail consumption part also getting a boost. Always, the quantum is not significant. Intent is more significant when it comes to a government making a statement, so that we are ready to put our money, what we are preaching about. It's not the size. So, if the private sector is really interested in doing it, we are there to handhold you to that market. It's the importance of Africa might be understood much better than any other country. It's by Mauritius. It has the capability to be the real catalyst in terms of boosting investments into Africa, because we are sitting with a large pool of investors. The amount of money which is transiting through Mauritius to other economies are large. That's all the opportunities which are sitting here. So that gets captured in spirit and even in the intent through that particular fund itself. Africa needs an entirely different thrust when it comes to the exchange space. It's a model which has worked in other parts. Let's say whether it's an Indian model alone, or a Hong Kong model, or it's an European, the ICE model, or even the CME model from US. There is no guarantee that the same model can work here, because all those markets have fairly strong historic background, which is running maybe more than a century old. So it all originated from there. So they already had a strong foundation from where it was built. If you look at Africa, we never had a base as such, which is all recent history. It may be 20 years old, kind of the exchange market space. So, but there is a lot to learn from the international market, but there is no ideal existing model which will perfectly, you can, let's say, have it in Mauritius for the entire Africa. I don't think that's going to work. It has to be more driven by look at what the opportunity is, understand the transaction structure or the cost structure, what is the specific need of the markets, and it's not the same what is there in, say, in Kenya, maybe what is required in Nigeria. So you have to look from overall perspective, understand the the local business dynamics or the local financial sector dynamics, because we are operating, when you are talking about 55 countries or so, you have 55 different regulators, and everyone need not be having the same economic objective in terms of developing the market. So the priorities could be different. So how that market, one country may have a complete convertibility, the other may not have any convertibility at all, and it is completely restricted. Talk about, let's say, from a West Africa perspective, we have to see that what is the right model fits into each country in terms of creating a Pan-African market. Until now, or maybe let's say 5 years, maybe in the last 5 years or so, it's becoming more of an international financial center, but still we have a bit of a tag of an offshore financial center. But that's where we are getting a balance between offshore and the onshore kind of thing now in the last few years. But where it is important is, let's say, we might be the only country where there are two exchanges, and if you look at the other financial centers, let's say take it, always we compare Mauritius with BVI or the Cayman Islands, which is not the right comparison. Those places have an exchange infrastructure operating, or the regulatory infrastructure which is present. That perspective, I think we are unique. So obviously, we don't have a one model fix everyone, fix all the problems. So we have to kind of evolve ourselves in terms of getting that model.